Hello, my name is Diana Kawczynski, and I'm presenting on my senior Program on the Environment Capstone project. The title of my project is Visual Communication in the Amazon, Perspectives and Knowledge on Rainforest Degradation. My site supervisor was Samantha Zwicker of Hoja Nueva in Peru, and my faculty advisor was Professor Karen Litfin of the University of Washington. The issue surrounding my project was Amazon rainforest degradation. I found that human-related environmental problems have degraded the rainforest through logging, slash-and-burn agriculture, gold mining, habitat fragmentation, and wildlife trafficking. Communication, education, and awareness surrounding many of these concerns is done through imagery and social media, but the efficacy of this communication for creating conservation action has not been examined. Therefore, this gap in knowledge surrounding the relationship between conservation imagery and audience response, specifically in the Peruvian Amazon, is where I chose to focus my research. My research questions I identified were: how does conservation imagery shape people's perception, concern, and action? And how do people interpret and perceive conservation imagery across different cultures and backgrounds? To answer these questions, I interned at Hoja Nueva, a research and conservation center located in the Peruvian Amazon. Their facility helps to mitigate rainforest destruction through research, activism, and direct action. My methods to answer these questions were first to identify corresponding images to the issues contributing to the degradation. On the lower left-hand side, we see all the images I used in my survey. These photos were taken by photographers Trevor Frost and Mohsen Cosme, so thank you very much for letting me use these. These issues I identified were logging, death of animals in fires, slash-and-burn agriculture, road fragmentation, wildlife trafficking, human-environment interactions, gold mining, and slash-and-burn agriculture again, but with a farmer. My next step was to create the English and Spanish survey with the same questions, but to encompass diverse audiences. The Spanish survey targeted Peruvians living in the Amazon, specifically on the Madre de Dios River that Hoja is located on. The survey questions I asked what emotion is got from each image, and if the image makes them want to act, and if so, how they would act. I then followed up with questions on their personal relationship to the environment and whether they follow sustainable practices. My next step was to sort the data and evaluate audience perception, knowledge, emotional associations, and inclinations towards action. So I got a wide array of results from this, but I decided to highlight a couple that were the most applicable to conservation work and held the most significant results. So on the upper right-hand side, we see two images that both represent slash-and-burn agriculture in the Amazon, but one, the image on the left, contains a farmer, and the second does not. Figure 3, the graph on the left, shows the emotion distributions of both of these photos. So what I found was that there was significantly less aggression in answers towards the slash-and-burn agriculture when the farmer was present. So what we see in this graph is a much broader range of emotions that include understanding and empathy when the farmer's there. Without the farmer, it was mostly just sadness and anger. This suggests there's increased cultural awareness and empathy when humanizing the environmental issue. Another conclusion I came to was the significant difference between reported actions from the English and Spanish speakers. If the response was to alter personal consumption or involved money, 100% of the answers came from the English survey. Peruvians were more likely to sacrifice time or suggest policy changes. Implications and the meanings of these results for other conservation work, I found that the results suggest that in order to effectively communicate environmental issues, humanizing the problem can make for a more receptive and understanding audience. By humanizing the problem, we can allude to also the environmental justice issues at hand and not just the ecological ones. Through understanding cognitive impacts of an image, such as how to best evoke empathy or another emotion, we can shape how we utilize social media, and this translates to more intended and direct actions. Finally, surveying on these issues allows conservationists to find gaps in knowledge where education and outreach needs to be focused, and how they can best tailor towards their specific audience. So thank you so much. Special thank you, though, to everyone at Hoja Nueva, including Duke and Kira, the other students there. You should go check out their posters. And also to Nadine, Ollie, and Sam for making my experience unforgettable. If you have any follow-up questions, I've included my Twitter handle in the upper right-hand corner, and I'll be monitoring that and feel free to ask me anything. Thank you so much for tuning in.